Namaste. Let's see. Okay, so I've been reviewing the other videos that I've made. I watch them over and over again to see like if there's anything that I've missed, anything that I want to cover. So far, so good. We're doing good. Um, this is part 2B that I talked to you about. Now, the other night, hold on. I told you, raw and uncut. I actually, I've been up for a lot of hours, and I just made a fresh pot of coffee. Like I was originally, like what I'm doing, I have it all done, everything that I want. Half of it, some of it's written out, some of it is just bullet points that I'll go over. Hold on, we're almost there. Okay, here we go. 2B. Let's make sure this is set up. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go. All right. So yeah, so I've been writing nonstop. Nonstop, and it's all there, man. It's all there. I'm doing some cutting and pasting and everything, putting everything where it goes, so that we cover everything. So, I mean, I've had a pretty long day, pretty long day. Um, and I said to myself, I said, you know what? All right, I've been up for a lot of hours, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to get rest, and you'll understand why I say get rest because this part, this 2B that we're gonna go over, is something that you'll understand it when you see it. All right, we have a lot of fucking things to talk about, so let's just get right to it. Okay, let's do a quick recap. All right, in the previous video, the intermission video, we went over two topics. We went over how important is this to you and what you're willing to do to get it. I told you at the beginning that I wouldn't tell you to put something in your engine that I don't have in mind. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. With that said, you already know how important this is to me, but you're about to learn something new tonight about what this means to me. It means everything, and you know what I'm willing to do. And tonight, especially after this section, you're gonna realize that what am I willing to do? Anything, anything, man, anything. So that's settled. You know now what's in my engine. You know. So we also went over the next step. In other words, what happens after this video is over, after this time we have now is over, after all the end, after the end of all your suffering, and then following it up with your path to enlightenment, that enlightenment stage, you'll find yourself with a brand new vehicle that you've never driven before. Now, the seminar following this video is going to be basically a course, a class available to those of you who want to learn how to drive your new all-terrain vehicle. Now, I want to make this clear. That the course, the seminar is optional. Okay, it's optional. Whether if you want it or not, you know, you're still gonna walk away with a brand new fucking engine, a brand new ATV. Okay, nothing to stop you, nothing to hold you back. You're able to plow the roads. You're able to foresee and handle problems, etc. You got a great ride. There's no denying it. Okay, after this video is over. But I'm going to strongly recommend that you consider taking the seminar for two very important and beneficial reasons. Okay? Especially after tonight. It's so much more than just an instruction manual. Okay? Look, you buy a new car, it comes with an instruction manual. Most people, I hold a lot of cars in my life. I would say that the majority of them, for what I've seen, they stick the instruction booklet in the glove box and they forget about it. They only pull it out when they have a problem to deal with. And once that problem is solved, they find out that little piece of information, back into the glove box it goes. They don't read the whole thing to get an understanding of what their car is capable of. Okay, now if you're still here right now, you're a balls out customer. Okay, you've decided to go with that option because I told you that's the only option we have. And as I mentioned to you, this is a 5-star blue chip platinum edition top of the line first class service. Balls out dealership. That's who we are. All right. We're talking all the bells and whistles. Um, as a balls out customer, man, you want the best. You deserve the best. We talked about this. You're paying top dollar. You're willing to invest the time necessary to get the most out of this investment, out of this ride, this new ride in your life, and it takes some effort, namely the price, patience. Um, when you buy like a really great luxury vehicle, you ever seen those dealerships? I've been in a lot of dealerships, and I'll tell you something. Okay, top of the line dealerships, they offer the same thing that I'm offering you with the seminar. They offer you a course or a class that teaches the owners, okay, of this, for the most part, like really sophisticated and complicated piece of machinery. You know, they they show them how to get the most out of it. I mean, these are people that spent a lot of money on these vehicles, okay? And that, in many cases, in most cases, is what separates um them from the average dealership. Read between the lines. There's more in there that you think. Uh, Now, in addition, okay, to learning the basics on how to operate your new ATV, we're also going to show you how to properly use, all right, use some really interesting features, okay, that your new ATV comes with, all right? Now, these are features that you're not familiar with, that you've never used before, that you've never had, basically because you never had a vehicle that needed them, you know? But now, um, basically, um, this vehicle, your new ATV, has the capability to take you, fuck, oh my God, to where no man has gone before. Very few men have gone there. I'm here in that place, and I'm telling you that the views from fucking up here, from the top, they're awesome. Awesome. Look at it this way. You may have a new engine, a new ATV, right? But the roads that you'll be driving it on haven't changed. When you go to a Land Rover dealership, okay, in front of the dealership, they have these courses. They have these big rocks and shit like that. And the reason that they have this obstacle course, it's like a 4x4 obstacle course, you know. The reason that they have them is to show their customers, the ones they care about, that spend a lot of money there, A, what their vehicle is capable of. Okay, we covered that. B, so that if the customer finds himself in a radical situation, you know, if the customer finds himself there, he knows how properly use their equipment to handle that situation and have fun doing it. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to take a minute to go over briefly. All right. Don't expect, I'm not going to explain it right now. One of those features that I'm talking about. And, this comes standard quality. We said before, I'm sure you'll still agree that the roads of life are anything but smooth, sunny, and easy to navigate, right? This feature is called um, the self-paving feature. Have you ever seen one of those huge monster machines laying down pavement on the highway? What it does is that it rips up all the shitty asphalt, and then right in front of it, it right behind it, it lays down this smooth pavement. And here's what I'm going to tell you, that that is what is on your new vehicle. What it does, it rips up the shitty road in front of you and lays down a nice smooth pavement. It's always sunny, and it is so easy to navigate that a fucking fetus could do it. A baby could do it. There's so much more coming. All right. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say about it. That's it. Come to the seminar and prove me wrong. All right. I triple dog dare you. All right. Why I call myself bad boy Buddha. Buddha. The third and final reason is this. All right. And bear with me, because, like I said, I'm tired, but this can't wait. I figured I got it done. Fuck waiting till tomorrow. I'll tape it now. So the third and final reason that I call myself bad boy Buddha, number one, why I am doing what I'm doing. Okay, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Number two, how I'm doing what I'm doing, and number three, what I expect to get from my efforts. Okay, I read once. I've done a lot of trainings. I don't remember where it was, but they said that if you have a big enough why you are doing something, you will figure out the best way how to do it, and then you'll get what you want. All right. We're going to go through each one of these, okay? The why I'm doing this, the how I'm doing it, and if you decide to join me, the what we'll get out of it. All right. Incidentally, we're going to talk about the last part first. All right. The what we are going to get. All right. Then we'll talk about the why we're going to do it. And then finally, how the how. The how of how we're going to do it. Disclaimer in this particular section, okay? Some of you will know some of the information, some of you won't. The ones that do know, it'll be no surprise, okay? But the ones that don't know, and even the ones that do know, I may have forgotten, this information is disturbing, you know? And I have something to say about that, by the way. Regardless of what you do know or don't know, that no matter how impossible or disturbing this shit might seem, or in reality, no matter how impossible or disturbing in reality it actually is, you know, we have a choice. And depending on the choice we make, it'll determine the outcome. All right? So, first choice, we do nothing. Okay? The outcome, let the chips fall where they may, and we suffer whatever consequences they bring. Now, in my opinion, that's a shitty fucking choice, okay? I say do anything, you know? Doing anything is better than doing nothing. Hence why I'm here. I'm doing something about it. I'm doing my best. You know? Whether or not this something will work, that depends on you. It depends on all of you. Okay. In the beginning, in the very first video, I spoke about two things that I'm going to remind you of. Okay. I said, number one, that this message is about waking up. Listen closely. It's about coming together, working together, and in perfect harmony, dealing with and overcoming the many challenges that we as a people and as a race that we face today. All right. The second thing was that by the end of this video, you would know how important you really are and how important your role in this fucking shit really is. Okay. And that's where we're at right now. All right. I mean, this fucking freaks me out, this fucking section, because I got to tell you, all right, we're going to talk about, the challenges that I was talking about, and more importantly, what we can do about them. All right, what we can do about them together, because it doesn't work any other way. It doesn't work any other way. Okay. The first choice we have, okay, we do nothing. The outcome, let the chips fall where they may, and together we suffer the consequences they bring. All right. I'm going to talk to you about what kind of consequences we could be looking at. Okay. The second choice we have is we can do something. The outcome of this choice, look, the chips still fall. Okay. Meaning that the clock runs out. We're $1 short and a day late. You know, but together we'll be prepared to handle it. Okay? We'll be prepared to handle it. Choice number 3. The clock doesn't run out. Oh man, together we can do something fucking amazing. Oh my god. The outcome of this choice turns it all around. Eventually, I mean, good things take time. Like I said, I don't think I'll ever see it. But if we get together now, we can put it in motion and it'll be fucking unstoppable. It'll be a new day for mankind. I'm a little hoarse. I've been reading and talking and phone call all day. So, how to turn things around, by the way, is a topic that I cover in the seminar. All right? Because that, my friends, is a whole different animal. Not even getting anywhere close to that shit today. So, how we turn things around, we'll talk about that when we get over there. Those are the choices and the outcomes, the what we will get based on our choice. All right, that's what we'll get. We could either get nothing, get fucked and be able to deal with it. And even the first choice where we don't do anything about it and the chips fall where they may and we suffer the consequence. You gotta understand something. You still by the end of the video, still, no matter, even if that happens, you still get your end of all suffering and enlightenment. All right. Now, for the why. I just said to you a couple of minutes ago that if it's a big enough why, we'll figure out the how. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. All right. Before I get into this section, I want to say something to you. Remember that I told you that I'm not pointing fingers here. But this is a part where I'm going to be talking about some things you'll understand. Trust me. No matter how impossible or disturbing it may seem, or in reality really is, at least we have a choice, you know? So, quick note and a disclaimer, by the way. The disclaimer is, look, here's how I feel about conspiracy theories versus reality. All right. I'm not going to talk about what I don't know. All right. I don't believe anything I hear on fucking TV. Okay. Remember, when I asked you where do we find the truth nowadays? I don't even watch TV anymore. CNN, Fox News, none of it. All right. To me, all of it is purely manipulated by rich fucking people that I don't know and by our government. All right. And that's been proven many, many fucking times. It's just the news and the media is just a wag the dog show. Just something to distract us from what is really going on. Um, which they're never going to tell us. Never. They don't want to panic on their hands. They don't want people to know the truth. But I am. I'm going to tell you what the fuck is really going on. To me, simply, television serves two purposes, okay? That's all. Listen carefully, all right? Television, all right? Dangerous fucking thing. It's used to instill fear, insecurity, and depression, and then to advertise products so that you can have the means to deal with fear, insecurity, and depression, all right? Look at it. Think about it. It's fucking crystal clear. It's all over. You're too fat, buy an ab roller. You're depressed, Prozac. Getting old, buy a cream. Over and over and over again. That's all it is. The internet, same thing. You have to be very careful what you believe. All right? There are endless amounts of information, disinformation, and some of it is just plain old paranoia and made up shit about UFOs, aliens, reptilians, underground cities, HARP, global warming, chemtrails, spraying silver dioxide on us and on the earth, to kill the fucking soil. The global elite, the Bilderberg Group, the New World Order, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. I don't know anything about that shit, okay? Whether it's true or not, and if it's true, then that's fucked up, but I don't know it. And tell you the truth, I don't care. Why not? Because I can't do anything about any of it. And that's what brings us to the first of two reasons why I am doing this. First, I'm going to talk about what I do know, okay, based on facts. And once again, my education. All right, let's talk about that before the facts. My education. As you know, I was a stockbroker for almost 8 years, okay? 8 years, probably just right around there. All right. As you know, I did make some money, a little bit of money in the beginning when I didn't know what was going on. In my bio, I spoke of a customer that I had. His name was Mr. Grayland Jones. I'm not going to get into the details about what happened. That's not important to me right now. It's not important right now. Anyway, it is important to me, but it's not important right now. What you do need to know is this. After that experience with Mr. Grayland Jones, I made a promise to myself that I would never sell not so much as a single share of fucking stock to anybody based on what my firm was telling me to sell them. And before I sold another share of stock, that I would know what the fuck I was talking about. It was so bad with Grayland Jones, man, that I spent, I think, like 3 days in the bathroom at work all day with cramps and diarrhea and suffering. And, like, imagine that you buy a guy a fucking share, you buy a guy a share of stock at $8, okay? And you go to lunch and you come back and it's trading at 50 cents. All right? So, since I promised that I wouldn't fucking ever sell a share of stock that I didn't know anything about, I started doing some research, man. I started researching how the game was played, tinker, 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 tinker. That led me down a fucking path. All right, I'll sum it up like this, okay? Number one, I will never, no matter how much money I ever have, ever give a single penny to a stockbroker or an investment banker, a counselor, or an advisor. I don't give a fuck what firm he's with, period, okay? Number two, if you have money with a stockbroker or a brokerage firm, you want some good advice? Get it out. Investing in the stock market is simple, okay? Find good companies that you know are doing good, that are selling a lot of products that you see on the shelves, okay? Hold them long term. That's it. That's all you need to do. Find good companies, hold them long term. You will do better on your own. Speculation is for gamblers, okay? And Las Vegas was not built on winners, okay? And number three, lastly, okay? If you are a stockbroker or an investment banker and you truly know your confession, your profession, you know that what I'm saying has merit. I have nothing against you. I don't hate the player. I hate the game, though. It makes me sick to my stomach. Now you know why I said when I left the brokerage business that I was broke and brokenhearted. I was broke for a lot of years, heartbreaking along the way, finding the things that I found out, and everything that I said would happen did, and has, and is happening. Okay? So my education and my knowledge in finance, it's not formal, it's not Ivy League, but it's based on hands-on experience and reading of many books. Many books, not to mention all the books that I read and to learn about the stock market itself and how economics and all that shit. So you know that I can be pretty sharp. All right. That said, listen, forget remembering the price for now because everything that I'm about to tell you is the absolute truth, undeniable, and you can find proof of it anywhere and everywhere. Read the $1 trillion meltdown, okay? Do some homework. Turn off that useless fucking LCD plasma 3D piece of fucking plastic and make this your life, your reality show. You know? Spend time here. Now, moving on, this is where the story gets hairy. Real hairy, all right? As a jumping off point, you're going to be able to connect the dots fairly easy if you pay attention right now. But understand something, and you'll learn about this in part 3, that there's a reason why learning is so difficult. Why absorbing is so difficult. If you there are studies out there that usually, like, and these studies have been done for seminar companies, right? The studies have been done that how much a participant remembers 3 days from now, and the numbers are fucking so small. It's like the next day you already have forgotten like 60%, and you get very little information over the course of time. You start losing. That's why I said to you about this, that it's not something that wears off in time, okay? Um, so anyway, connecting the dots here, if you pay attention, you'll be able to catch it. You may have to go through it one or two more times. It's worth going back if you don't understand it. But once you do connect the dots, this is just fucking gruesome. But remember, by the end of the video, you will know what you and I and others are capable of doing. All right? So, your captain has hereby turned on the smoke 'em if you got 'em sign. Please fasten your seatbelts. Put your tray tables in their upright position, because from here on out, man. Also, it won't be anything new to you by now, but I'll probably get quite passionate. It'll look to you that I'm losing my mind because I've known this information for so long, and remember what I told you, your body reacts, But remember that, in fact, no matter how crazy I look, I'm completely relaxed. I'm not going to have a heart attack. Um, and that remember not how the message is being delivered, but the message itself. Okay. This section, by the way, is all ad lib. All right. I just have bullet points in front of me from here on out, And there might be a chance that we, get some scrambled eggs in the process. But like I said, if you pay attention, you'll get it. All right, let's start with the big one. USDebtClock.org. I'm going to pull it up on my computer right now. This is up to the minute. US Debt Clock. It's coming up. It takes a little. All right, so here it is. All right. There's like 75 numbers or different boxes with numbers on this thing. If you've ever seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go through every one of them. I'm just going to go through three or four. That's all we got. Oh, God, it's fucking horrifying. We're going to go through three or four, okay? So, the first one we're going to go through right now. U.S. national debt is standing at $17.336 trillion. That's $17.3 trillion. All right? U.S. gross domestic product, which is the money that we make from everything that we own. Not everything that we own, everything that we sell. This is what we are producing, okay? We're producing $16.1 trillion. Now, if we didn't take a dollar from any of that and just took it and threw it all into the debt, we'd still come up like 1.4 trillion in debt. Still, all right? After all of that. Now, next number. Then I'm gonna even skip that one. Here's the one you gotta look at. Social Security, prescription drug liability, and Medicare liability. All right? Those are called unfunded liabilities. All right? This is the money that we're spending. This is the money that we're in the hole for. 127.976 or $128 trillion. Trillion. Never going to happen. This is a debt that cannot be paid. This is just never going to fucking happen. Why? Because that money doesn't exist. It's all fucking made up. All right? It's all on computers. All right? Now, they have something called the time machine on the US debt clock, right? You can go up or back 4 years. On February 22nd, my birthday, in 2018, today, in 2018, our national debt, which is the money that we are borrowing, okay, that we are borrowing, IOU. This is what we're borrowing. Our U.S. national debt is going to be at $20.346 trillion. Okay, $20.36 trillion. Our gross domestic product will be at 18. So now, 4 years later, if everything stays the way it is, 4 years from now, we're going to be in debt for 2 trillion rather than 1.3. We're going further in the hole. Our credit's running out. Just recently, we started selling off our oil reserves. After everything we've done to get all this oil, now we're selling off our assets. U.S. unfunded liabilities 4 years from now will be at $156 trillion. There is no such animal. There is no fixing this. We could try to fix it, but honestly, that's all we're ever going to do is try because there's no way it's ever going to get fixed. And I don't have to tell you what's going on, okay? If you just go and just do a little bit of research, look, I said as far as conspiracy theories versus reality and the internet, and let me explain something to you, okay? When you type in the collapse of the U.S. dollar and you get 4 million results in under 2 seconds, not all of it, and then you read 1,000 documents, and those 1,000 documents all say the same fucking thing. All of them can't be wrong. There's got to be some fucking truth to it. And, you know, let's keep going. So $156 trillion. So just, to make a long story short, as far as the monetary system that the dollars that you have in your bank account or in your wallet right now, pretty soon, they're going to be fucking worthless. There are estimates that shit could happen within the next couple of years. I don't think so. I think that that it's a good 7 or 8 years away. I could be fucking wrong about that too. I could be dead fucking wrong about that. Um, I'm hoping that we have that much time. All right. So let's close that. So that's the situation as far as money is concerned. There's a reason why I brought you there. There's a reason why I brought you there. It's gonna tie into something later on. So right now, 17.3 trillion. Even at this point, it's unpayable. We can't. We're accumulating too much interest on top of the debt. It's never gonna happen. Never. No matter what the fuck we do. And they're proposing to fucking raise the debt limit again. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's being done on purpose. I'm looking at it. You know, tinker. Oh, China now with this fucking thing with the dollar. Let me tell you something. Asia owns a lot of our debt, man, and whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I heard that we've struck a deal with them that any more money that they lend us in the future, that we're gonna back it with real estate. Could that be true? If it is, we're in some fucking trouble. Is China the enemy? That's bullshit. Okay, China's not the enemy. I mean, we all go to Walmart, and in Walmart 90 fucking more than 90% of their products all say made in China. Go in and check it out for yourself. We're literally, giving China the money. Okay, we're literally giving them the money to lend us, for us to go into the debt. We are actually giving China money for us to go into debt. FEMA camps, I don't know. It's all over the internet. All right. Now, they say, look, no, they're not FEMA camps. Let me tell you something, okay? I hope to God that they are building those fucking things, because I'm going to tell you something. I've done the math, I've seen what can happen when fuel went up to $5 and over a gallon. And I want you to know something, that when milk goes, from where it is now, I've seen milk as high as $5, $6 a gallon. If it goes to $50 a gallon and there's not a loaf of fucking bread on the shelves, I'm going to tell you something. If there are not more enlightened people than unenlightened people, we're going to need a place to put these fucking people. I mean, look at it this way. You're going to have people fucking fighting in the streets for food, for water. And let me tell you something, okay? If I were to plan a new world order, that's how I'd do it. If I wanted to control the global population, that's how I'd do it. Let these people start killing themselves. And when it gets, hot enough, send in the military. And now you have people killing each other. You know, and hey, like I said before, I don't know if any of this is true, New World Order, this and that. I don't know. I've never been to one of those meetings, but I got to tell you, all right, that if you type in, into Google or Wikipedia, anything, and you get 2.3 million hits about something, and, you know, the first 1,000 documents you read, they all say the same shit. Some of it has to be true. It can't all be wrong. So if in fact those camps are being built or are getting staffed, which is the last I heard that they were getting staffed, you know, all that information cannot be wrong. It's just impossible. The odds are against it. Everything's made up. The UFOs, the reptilians, the bankers, the fucking Rothschild. Is it all made up? I don't think so. And you know what? Check this out. I was talking to a friend today, 46 years old. Never heard of it. Have you heard of the American Stonehenge? Hold on a second. The American Stonehenge. Like I said, I'm just talking about the fucking facts, all right? The facts. Not made up shit, not something that someone told me. What is real? Um Here we go. Let's see. Uh Here we go. It's called It goes by American Stonehenge. It's in Stonehenge. It's in Georgia. Here, American Stonehenge. Stonehenge. Here we go. Hold on a second. Where are they? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Why is it not pulling up this fucking thing right now? What's it called? What the fuck is it called? Georgia Guidestones. There we go. Not it's known as it is known as American Stonehenge, but it's called the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, I'm just gonna read a little bit to you about them. Okay, it's a granite monument in Elbert County, Georgia, USA. All right, here in our fucking country. This thing weighs 237,746 pounds. This isn't a rock buried somewhere. This is out in the open for the world to see. Um, it's written. It's written in 8 different languages, and on top of it, it's written. Let me see if I can find the languages. On the top of it, on the top slab, it's also written in Babylonian, Classic Greek, Sanskrit, and Ancient Egyptian. Okay. So they want to make sure hieroglyphics, okay? They want to make sure that everybody fucking knows what this thing says. Here's what it says. Number one, maintain humanity under 500 million people in perpetual balance with nature. Maintain humanity under 500 million, over under half a billion people. Right now, there are 7.1 billion in the world. Number two, guide reproduction wisely. Improve fitness and diversity. Guide reproduction wisely. You know? What the fuck are they going to be injecting people with is their plan. Number three, unite humanity with a living new language. Number four, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Number five, protect people and nations. Get the protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. All right, you know, let's murder, you know, 6.6 billion people, and then with the ones that are left over, protect them with fair laws and just courts. It just doesn't make fucking sense. And they're not wrong. All right, listen, it's not their fault. Whoever the fuck put it there, it was put there by an anonymous donor. R.C. Christian. They've said that that name is another name for another famous scientific fucking author. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I don't have the facts. I don't give a shit. All I know is that it's there in my face, telling me what their fucking plans are. All right. And again, I love you the same. I don't give a shit. You'll understand this too, by the way. You'll understand it. It's coming. It's not their fault. Number six, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws. Number seven, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Eight, balance personal rights with social duties. Personal rights with social duties. Sounds like some form of control to me. Number nine, prize truth. Be honest, we're gonna fucking kill you. They're fucking honest about it. Number nine, prize truth, beauty, love. Ay, ay, ay. Seeking harmony. This is strange with the infinite. That's kind of fucking strange to be in something like this. Number 10, do not be a cancer on the earth. Nice people. Hey, you fucking cancer, we're gonna fucking kill you. Leave room for nature, and then it repeats it. Leave room for nature. All right, the Georgia Guidestones. All right. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. I'm telling you right now, the collapse of the U.S. dollar happens. We're no longer the world currency. I mean, it happened in the European Union. Now today they have a euro, which they replaced as one currency, and you have the transatlantic Texas fucking corridor. That's being built for NAFTA, and you have all this bullshit being signed. I don't, I mean, I fucking read what I need to read, and I go and I look at documents, official documents that are released. I mean, how many of you actually fucking read Obamacare? That fucking, I didn't read the whole fucking thing either. I just went to look for what the fuck I need to find, So choice one, we do nothing. We suffer the consequences in happiness and in total bliss. Okay. In appreciation for whatever happens. All right. Now for the real reason why. All right. For my reason, my ultimate reason why. We go to choice two, which is at least I'm doing something. If the clock runs out before we turn things around, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. A lot of us are gonna fucking die. Period. It's gonna happen to us eventually anyway. But if we're gonna go to, if we're gonna die, because of what the fuck is going on, this is the true reason why. If I could bring this peace of acceptance, if I can take away all fear, even of dying, you know, even of dying. I mean, I think about it. Like, if the bombs drop, how many people out there are going to be terrified? They're going to be fucking terrified. They're going to die in fear. And there's just way too much information to go about this now. But for whatever reason, if in fact there could be an incarnation, look at it this way. It's like, let's say I was to die right now, right? This very moment, I was to die. I knew that death was coming. I'll be dead in 2 seconds. I'd sit here, wait for it, and welcome it when it comes in the door. Welcome it. Because I am conscious at all times. At all times, I'm conscious um, of who I am and where I'm going. So let's say I die, right? And now, if I have a spirit, however the fuck it happens, you know, I know where I'm going. Even if I don't know where I'm going, I'm not worried about it. It's not the way a lot of people will take it, you know? Let me tell you something. I was scared of dying once. I didn't leave my house for like 2 months, man. So afraid. So afraid of dying that I wouldn't leave my house. So there you go. And that is the why. Is that why big enough for you, man? Imagine living in a fucking camp somewhere. Imagine, looting. Imagine this fucking place. Anarchy and disaster. Chaos is what will happen when they've suggested that one day it'll be a Friday, and the if the dollar crashes the way that they would take the dollar out of circulation and put the new money in, is that they would trade the money you have for the new currency at like 20 cents on the dollar or 10 cents on the dollar. Imagine you have $100,000 saved on Friday, and then the entire following week, you can't get your money out. And then the next day that the bank opens, that $100,000 is now worth 10. A lot of people, that's going to piss off a lot of fucking people. Not to mention, like I said, milk, bread, and water. Okay. Three things. Medicine. You've seen all these, apocalyptic movies. You think that can't happen? It's happened, already. Japan, Russia, Germany, you know. So now the only question we have left to answer is how, you know, how are we going to handle this? Well, we're going to go to war. War with who? Who is the real enemy? Let's get crystal clear about this. Who do we go after? The global elite? Obama? The government? Monsanto? The corporations? The bankers? Okay, that's a plan. I have a question. How exactly do you plan on hanging every fucking one of them? And it's not even that they deserve to be hanged. They've done nothing wrong. Nothing. You know? You only think it's wrong based on your own life experience. You know? No. I will repeat that. No. They are not the enemy. They are your brothers and sisters. Period. Regardless of what they've done or are doing or are even planning to do in the future. We do not need to forgive them. They have done nothing that needs forgiving. Nothing. No more pointing fingers. No more marches. No more stalking the Bilderbergs. No more bullhorns. No more name calling. It's not their fault. You want to know who's at fault? Get up, stand in front of a mirror, point to it. It's not that guy's fault either, or that girl's fault. It's not your fault either. And you want to know who is at fault? Part 3. You're going to fucking know for sure. Part 3. But for now, how? I'll tell you how. And the things that I'm about to say have gotten a lot of fucking people killed. We're going to go off track here a little bit before I go any further, okay? So that you really understand, man, how important it is for me to get the message out and what I'm willing to sacrifice for it. This is my catch 22, okay? You will know beyond a doubt. By delivering this message, I'm putting my life in danger. But many people will benefit. If I do not deliver this message, my life is still in fucking danger when all this shit hits the fucking fan. But now, if I don't deliver the message, my life is still in danger, and so are, unnecessarily, the lives of so many others, man. So I thought about this a lot, and I based my decision on this logic. I'm not an immortal. I'm gonna have to fucking die anyway. So what the fuck? Might as well do it the way Gina taught me to do it. No matter what, on your feet. I'm gonna do it the way I've always done it. The way I've always dreamed of doing it. Loud and fucking proud, wreaking havoc, loving people and having fun. So with that said, forward march. All right? No more pointing fingers. We are no longer going to bitch and blame the bankers and all of those people responsible for obscenely profiting from and taking advantage of our ignorance and our greed for a better life. Thank you for building the house of cards that is going to fucking come crashing down virtually any day now, but I have to admit, that was a nice save in 2008. Whew. We're no longer going to bitch and blame the captains of industry who every day figure out more and more creative ways to pay us less and charge us more for shittier and more dangerous products. We're no longer going to blame and bitch about insurance company who they always have, and now more than ever, they're robbing us fucking blind. As if paying executives millions of dollars in fucking tax bonuses out of fucking bailouts wasn't enough. Now, now they're gouging us, you know, as much as ever, while our government is paving the way for them to do it legally. We're no longer going to bitch and blame big pharma, the pharmaceutical industry, that so fucking generously keeps us, their customers, sick and sedated, and then dependent and addicted on their drugs for life. And let's give credit where credit is due. They couldn't do it without the medical profession that is so happy, both knowingly and many times unknowingly, helping them push their drugs. You know? We're no longer going to bitch and blame the masters of the universe, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and the Bilderberg Group. You got to love those guys, though. We're not going to bitch and blame defense contractors, military mongrels, all of those people who start, support, and then ultimately achieve what they set out to do. Insanely profit from war and the killing of our fellow human beings. 9/11, for example, I mean, with all the research, the YouTube videos, whistleblowers, is there even one fucking person left that still believes? You know what? It doesn't even fucking matter if the story they told us was true or not. Here is what does matter. The total death count, all right, from the attacks on 9/11, the last time I checked was 2,977. Okay? The total death count from the wars, the terrorism of 9/11 created, and make no mistake about it. That is exactly what it was. Terror, okay? 2.5 million people have died. And I refuse, just like I told you, like the internet, there's a fucking million things that they all can't be wrong. With that same equation, I just refuse to believe that 2.5 million people deserve to die, you know, for under 3,000. It just doesn't make sense to me. Not to mention, and here are the perks of, the new additions of 9/11 that was added to our lives, like the Patriot Act, Obamacare, and who the fuck knows what else they're fucking signing, or that they signed and they didn't tell us, just like, you know, and fuck that, man. Conspiracy my ass, okay? It's all in black and fucking white. The obliteration of our Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, gone. The Bill of Rights, burnt up in smoke. Habeas corpus, gone. Even the Magna Carta doesn't mean dick anymore. And soon, maritime law, admiralty law, uniform commercial code, it's going to be as worthless as the fucking paper it's written on. And we're no longer going to bitch and blame the leaders of companies that are forcing us to poison ourselves with their monopolized, genetically modified food. Fluoride in the water. We're no longer going to blame and bitch about the tobacco industry. Forget that. We don't even need to fucking, no description needed there. And last but nowhere near least, we are not going to bitch and blame politicians and lobbyists and heads of state. Or rather, the people that, that we used to trust would look out for us. That are now no more than, like a members only club built on tyranny and totalitarianism. They allow and they actually encourage all of the above mentioned people to do whatever the fuck they want. As long, of course, as they get to, line their pockets too. Unemployment, poverty, famine, disease, murder, genocide, crime, all of it is possible Most likely probable. If we don't fucking smarten up quick. Number one rule of war: divide and conquer. United we stand, divided we fall. Lincoln, I believe it was Lincoln that said, a nation divided cannot stand. I think that's in the Bible too somewhere. I think it was Lincoln. He said something like that. And if we do not come together, if out of fear or the belief that there's nothing we can do about it, if we give up now, if we stand by and let it all come crashing down, words like martial law, revolution, civil war, and new world order will be topics of everyday conversation. Fuck, I know for a fact that there already are. They already are. 3.7 million results in 4.3 seconds. YouTube. You know? And it's fucking impossible that they're all wrong. We, the people, will be bitching about it. And the masters of the universe, if history repeats itself, and it does, they're going to make a killing in many more ways than one. And it'll be justified. And not only that, in the end, they're going to end up looking like the fucking hero. And for those of us who are left, we're going to thank them for it through our submission and enslavement if these things come to pass. We are no longer going to bitch and blame. Why? Because to do so is wrong. God forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that brings us to the last part of this video. Part 3, you can understand why. Why that's so important. Why? You're going to so fucking understand this like you've never understood it before. God forgive them, for they know not what they do. Which is why I say that all these people that I'm talking about, they're all us. They're all our brothers and sisters, regardless. We're all one species. You know? We're different races, but one species. So to recap, we went over what we'll get, the outcomes based on the choice we make. Stand by and do nothing, let the chips fall where they may. Do something and the chips fall anyway. The clock runs out. Or the choice I want to leave behind. A new day for mankind. We've covered the why. Enough said about that shit. You know? And now for the how. This is how we do it. We don't retaliate. Tooth for tooth. Bullshit, man. Gandhi said, an eye for an eye is how the whole world goes blind. You know? Courage isn't violence. Anybody can kill. That's fucking easy, man. You know what's hard? Not picking up a gun. That's what they want us to do. Remember in the beginning when I said they make us what how the fuck did I put it? When I said that making decisions for ourselves is the furthest thing from the truth. They make us think that we're making decisions for ourselves. So, no, not with violence, but with what this message is all about. Courage and with love. And with love. Hold on a second. courage, the degree of courage that it's going to take, you'll have, all right, by the end of this video. But if I was to describe courage in any one way, right there. Let me tell you something about this beautiful statue that I have. This was a gift from a friend, all right? And my friend had this statue in their house, and it was buried where she couldn't see it. She didn't want to see it, you know? She bought it, and it's a beautiful statue, you know? And she bought it, and she said, I can't stand to look at that. That's Jesus. That's such a beautiful. I mean, I'm not honoring that thing, because I'm not perfect. There's a. I don't recommend that you read this right now. I recommend that you just come with me. Wait till the end of the seminar, and and even then, wait a while. But because there's a course called A Course in Miracles, okay? And in the Course in Miracles, it talks about this particular thing, okay? This crucifix, Jesus on the cross. And most people, when they look about it, and hey, this is the way you're trained to believe. You're trained to believe that this is something that you should feel guilty about. You know why? Because if you feel guilty, it means that you want to do things to make up for it. But what I learned about this is that this right here is an example of the most courageous fucking man that at a moment where he's being nailed to this cross, he has the courage and the love to look at the people who are doing it and say, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, listen, I mean, how many people, honestly, out there want to be, strive to be like Jesus? I know that for myself, for a long time, I felt the same way. I'm like, this is somebody that I was in awe of. You know, how could he do that? I want to be like Jesus. You know how many times I said that? But how the fuck? There's no way that I'm gonna fucking forgive somebody for driving nails into my hand. That's how I used to think. Look at this video I'm making. Painting a fucking bullseye on me. You know? And that seminar, you know, by the end of this video, things are gonna change. By the end of that seminar, you know, Gandhi, dead. Martin Luther King, dead. JFK, dead. They all said the same thing, courage and love. Meister Eckhart, banished. Socrates, dead. Socrates! Oh my God! Have you fucking if you guys don't know, have never read fucking Socrates, The Trial and Death of Socrates, The Republic by Plato. If you've never read those books, man, fuck Socrates. I'll tell you what, okay? Socrates, along with Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, getting to Marcus Aurelius, I read his book like a dozen times in a row, one after the other after the other. Didn't stop. Learned something every single time. All right, but because of Marcus Aurelius and Socrates, my fear of death vanished. Vanished. All right. So let me put him back. I want to put him back. Incidentally, when I got that piece, it was in like 5, 6 pieces. It was broken all over the place. His wrist was broken off. The cross was all mangled, all kinds of shit. And when I got it, I put it down somewhere where it wouldn't be touched or moved. And I didn't remember. I told you make every moment count. Whatever you're doing in this moment, give it your absolute best. So I put it on the side and I said I can't fuck with it right now because I'm busy. But and I refused to touch it unless I had really time to work on it. And I brought it back to better than it was when it was new. You know, taking that time because I respect that man so much, so much, no matter what. You know. Um, so how do you develop that courage, that iron will of forgiveness to be able to forgive? You know, George Bush. You know, for whatever, if he has done all those things he's done. I've fucking seen the guy on fucking TV with that fucking smirk. I mean, and I'm not even gonna make up what that smirk means. And I love Georgie. He's fucking funny. And again, you know what? He's just doing what his life experience has been all about. Learn about the man before you judge him. Learn. Don't let anybody tell you what he is. Don't let the media tell you what it is. Don't let the internet tell you what he is. Speak to the man. Read his books. Read books about him. Learn about him. And then you'll see that he's only done what was in his nature to do. You know, it's in my dog's nature to chew up anything that I leave laying around. Do I blame the dog? Does that make sense? Is that being responsible? Accountable for your actions? No. You know? And at the same time, how can I be mad at him? That's what's in his nature to do. The scorpion stinging the frog. Hey, it's in my nature. What the fuck did you expect? How do you develop that courage? That that's coming in part 3 also. How to develop that courage. Jesus Christ courage, I call it. JCC. We are no longer going to bitch and blame, march, bullhorns, because so far, has it worked? Fuck no. It's only gotten worse. You see guys outside of that fucking hotel in Toronto, the Bilderbergs agree. You see guys with bullhorns saying, "Oh, you're not gonna fucking enslave us." What fucking good does it do? Does it even interrupt their fucking meeting? What the fuck's the point? Keeps going on schedule. Guys with bullhorns are part of the plan. You think they didn't fucking know? You think they didn't fucking know that when people found out about this shit that they weren't gonna be fucking quiet about it? They fucking knew. And they're prepared for it. Have you ever seen one of those fucking guys get in? No. And we're gonna get to that too. Remember, connecting the dots. All right? Now, how do you develop that courage? Talk a little bit about that. You know? First thing you have to do is you have to shed your fear of it. That's the first fucking thing. Can't be afraid of this shit. What is, it's happening. Why be afraid of it? It's there. You know? And how do you do that? You do that through education, which is what we are doing here and now. Educating it about how to fucking deal with it. Once you shed your fear of it, all right? Once you shed your fear of it, hold on a second. All right. For you to get the best understanding of how I'm taking this, how I'm operating, all right, how I see this is a mission to me. You know, what you and I are doing. To me, it's no different than fucking war. And keep in mind, we're going to be talking about war right now because that's what it is. This is a fucking war. Make no mistake about it, man. And right now, you know, the powers that be, fucking 100. You know, we the people, we ain't got many. Um, we've already fought two battles, three. They're called parts one, part two, and the intermission. And you know what? You've won because you're still here. And if you've made it this far, it means that we're still on the warpath. We're not home yet. We've barely begun. Make no mistake about it, and I told you this in the beginning, that we are in a fight right now, in a fight that is a matter of life and death. And I said it, your life and your death, and being prepared for both of them. For both of them. Not only are we facing the enemy within, but we are also facing the enemy without, the outside, our bodies. They're decaying every moment we breathe. And then, as if that isn't bad enough, we're also facing other enemies as well. Huge, huge battles coming up, you know? We'll talk about those enemies later on. And they're not my enemies. To me, they're not. To me, I call them challenges. Easy to overcome. And they're not enemies. They're not my enemies. You know, to me. You know, to you, they are. They're still like fucking E equals MC square once said. Solve problems, same thinking, not happening. To you, they are enemies. The enemy inside, the enemy outside, and our other enemies. And they're out to kill us. Or worse than death, enslave us. Now, before you go to war, you must do two things. First, shed your fear of it, all your fears, all of them. And that's what we are doing. In part three, you will never know fear again. Never. Never. Then you have to train. You have to learn how to fight. Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu. The Art of War. I've read that book. I can't tell you how many fucking times because it's fucking amazing. Amazing. Right? Listen, he said, quote, all right, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. He also said that the supreme, and this is fucking everyone, you gotta at least heard this once in your life, that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. You know, every battle is won before it's ever fought. As a matter of fact, that's one of his too. And the most important one of all. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. It's okay. The most important thing that I ever learned from fucking Sun Tzu. Ayo, come on, buddy. Come here. Hold on one second. Yeah. Eat some fucking Fritos. All right, just a couple. Go ahead, go. Where was I? the most important thing I ever learned, man. Listen to this. Victorious warriors win first, and then they go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first, and then they seek to win. Victorious warriors win first, and then they go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first, and then they seek to win. Sun Tzu, read the fucking book. I'm not going to tell you who he is. Read the fucking book. The Art of War. Um, I heard or I read something a long time ago. This is beautiful too. I don't remember right now where it's from. I don't know. Bishop Tutu, Nelson Mandela, I believe was like while Africa was being freed, South Africa was being freed. Um, but I do know that I've never forgotten it, word for word, man, word for word. It doesn't really fucking matter who said it. Here's the quote, all right? You might as well come join us, okay? Because we've already won. You just don't know it yet, all right? Nelson Mandela, another great fucking man who spent 27 fucking years in jail. What did he give up? 27 fucking years. Now, if you've come this far, every one of you is a balls out customer. And as a balls out customer, tell me something. Who would you really rather have on your side on the front line? A nice, quiet, calm, composed guy or a motherfucker? With a fucking 50 caliber fucking submachine gun screaming strength and honor, freedom or death. I know who I'd want next to me. Who I want on my side. And by the way, I am not that crazy motherfucker that I just talked about. Ready for some good news? Right? We could use some good news, after all that fucking bullshit we talked about. Here's the good news, my brothers, my sisters. I'm the general, you know? You're not going to find me on the front lines, side by side with you. No. You don't fucking want me on the front lines with you. And I'll get to why that is in a minute. But that screaming motherfucker with the 50 caliber machine gun that I just described is not me. It's you. You. You're that motherfucker. By the time and over time, remember, 5 years, okay? I wasn't like this 5 years ago, all right? So don't expect to like fucking, at the end of the table, all of a sudden you're fucking, Buddha. No. It's going to take some work on your part, but it's worth it. And I'm going to start you off. I'm going to fucking put some fucking rocket fuel on that fucking fire that you have burning inside of you, you know? And the more we get to know each other, the higher the hurdles are going to get. But so far, you're still landing on your feet, aren't you? And I'm going to keep doing it over and over. We're going to keep raising that fucking hurdle over and over until you reach the point that you become that motherfucker. Now, some of you might be saying to yourself, but I don't want to become that person. I don't want to be that crazy. I'm not like you. I don't want to be some violent psycho with a fucking submachine gun. Oh, yeah? Is that right? Look at it this way. All right? On the front lines of life, picture yourself alone. That's how it is. It's just you. And it's up to you to take that fucking hill. Your loved ones are the fucking depending on you. Your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your neighbors. As a matter of fucking fact, and this goes out to every fucking one of you. The fate of our species depends on how ready you are to take that fucking hill. I gotta be honest with you, okay? I don't want fucking anything less than a super soldier, Navy SEAL, Marine Corps Special Forces, Army Ranger willing to die for God and country. That's the motherfucker that I want on my wall, fighting on my side. How about you? Isn't that the motherfucker you want to go to war next to? To take that fucking hill? Remember when I told you, bring them in. Because you will have brothers and sisters in ways that you cannot fathom. You know, if that's if those are the people, if you want to be in an army of motherfuckers, if you do, then do it. Starting now. And from this moment on. And incidentally, okay, you've heard me talk about this as a mission. What you and I are doing. It's a mission. I consider each and every one of you my soldiers, my comrade in arms, man. Period. You know, being here, it tells me that you're willing to go all the way. All the way. And how far is that? As far as it fucking takes till we get the job done. I said to you before that I'm the general. I said that you don't want me on the front lines with you. And I said that, and I say this with the utmost humility. But the fact is that I have over 5 years on this particular battlefield. And I know it like the back of my fucking hand. I'm also studied in military tactics. Literally. Sun Tzu, Miyamoto Musashi, Book of Five Rings, the Hagakure, On War, the Book of Samurai, Guerrilla Warfare, Machiavelli, among so many others. A lot of them I study till this day even. Why? Remember the lesson I learned in my bio? Know the other guy? The books that I just mentioned and many more like them are the books that they're studying too, still to this day. Where do you think I got those fucking? How the fuck do you think I figured out what books to read? I wanted to know what books Colin Powell was reading. You know? And I don't let anybody fucking tell me who or what anybody is. I've read the Communist Manifesto because I want to know firsthand. I'll make my own fucking decision. I've read Guerrilla Warfare by Che. And I've read a lot more. A lot more. You need to know your enemy. Know thy enemy. Know thyself. And you'll never have to worry about the result of a battle, ever. Thomas Jefferson said, I remember, he said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, man. I mean, we have to stay on top of things. Never let up. Always on guard. Ready for anything at a moment's notice. You know, and remember this. This is extremely important. Staying on top of being ahead, one step ahead. Very fucking important in how you operate your roller coaster, you know? Which is why I remind you over and over and over again. Because it is that important for you to know. For you to fucking to beat it in your head like the signs. Beat it into your fucking head. So that you get it. You know? And that's what the general does. You know? Takes care of his men, trains them so they can go and fight and win. And then he teaches them how to fight. And he keeps them as much as possible. You know, he protects them. in every way he can. So, moving on, that's how we apply this analogy of war to this the situation that we find ourselves in now, you know? Now you know why I told you the other day during the intermission that I just didn't have the fucking energy to give this part, you know? Um, what's next? Okay. All right. What's next? What's next? What's next? Okay. What's next? Okay. Here's what's next. Part three. Bring a fresh pair of fucking shorts. Happens. It happens. It's gone. Part three. The end of all suffering. That's what it's called. Part three. The end of all suffering. You're gonna find out who the fuck is responsible for all this shit. Why we need to stop pointing fingers at the corporations, the global elite, the bankers, the Rothschilds, Obama. Nothing that they've done, nothing that has happened has been their fault. I love them no different than I love you. Period. Remember the price. Period. And then we're going to move over to path four and part four, and that's the path of and to enlightenment. Good things take time. You'll get it there. You'll be on the road. But remember, 5 years ago, I wasn't who I am today. All right. So, as Buddha put it, find your own light, your own enlightenment. You know, at the end of this video, you will just have a nice, shiny, new, brand new ATV with a fucking awesome engine in it. And that'll help you get there. But you are ultimately going to have to drive it, no one else, you know. So now I can sleep in peace. Now, thank you. Namaste. And Joe Pesci bless you. See you in part three.